good? Yes? No? Hello, everyone. Yep, I'll be cutting the first 4 minutes and 59 seconds. I have to play for you a few things. Come on, get up here. I was watching David Pakman.
Many times now. Chris, as I have told you.
Oops. I was watching David Pakman.
Think that, like, he was calling people to.
And David Pakman, two different shows of his. So the first one has to do with Proud Boys, 3 Percenters, Oath Keepers. And the second one has to do with Chris Christie. Please forgive my in and out. It's more that you hear it, not so much that you see me. I'm the same old, same old. I still haven't lost any more weight. Okay, so here's this lady.
I don't think that, like, he was calling people to, like, do, like, I watched, like, what he said and everything, and, like, he didn't say anything to me, like, in watching it that was, like, you know, oh, yeah, he's telling them to go and, like, storm the Capitol, you know, like, I personally didn't feel like that, that what he was said was so inflammatory that he was just trying to, like, you know, tear the country apart.
Okay, that's the first one. Here's the documents that he took and hid in his bathroom after the FBI came, you know, to get the stuff. He still had more stuff hidden, stashed away in his bathroom. Okay, so those are the first two pictures. The other one, I'm going to pause and talk about that after this. So if you ask the 3 Percenters, the Proud Boys, oh, here comes the video. The 3 Percenters, the Proud Boys, and the Oath Keepers. If Donald Trump on January 6th told them to go attack the Capitol, they're going to tell you yes. Because that's what Donald Trump did. So somebody like her, Donald Trump could literally go in her house, take a knife, and slit her child's throat right in front of her. And she will make an excuse. Oh, well, my child was getting on his nerves. That's who those people were sitting at that table. They existed before Donald Trump. So if you ask the people that are sitting in, they just got arrested, what, last week or 2 weeks ago? So they're probably still in reception. Oath Keepers, Proud Boys, 3 Percenters, and anybody else. They're probably still sitting in their khakis in reception because it takes 2-3 weeks, sometimes a month if the prison is overcrowded before they actually put you in population. Ask them, did Donald Trump tell them in that video that I just showed to go and attack the Capitol? Everybody heard Donald Trump tell them first to stand by and wait. And then when the day came, everybody heard him, including those people at that table. We all heard him tell the people out front to attack Vice President Pence because he would not violate the rules of the Senate to make him president again. He didn't win. He didn't win because people like me, Republicans, and people who are registered but who never vote said, we're getting rid of this motherfucker. That's why he's not in there. State to state to state. That's what happened. We just got rid of Donald Trump. And we did not want, what's his name? Joe Biden. We did not want Joe Biden. Please be clear. We did not want Joe Biden. There was about 12 people running, and it whittled down to another old ass white motherfucking man who was a part of the system that we living in right now because of him and decisions that they made 30 years ago. Okay. Now we got to find somebody to vote for to replace Trump. I got my guy. First, I asked Eric Mays to run. He said he'd get back to me. But then Dr. Cornel West is running. And it doesn't matter. He may not look like people want him to look, but he's been around and he knows it. It says you people are keen on putting old men in office. Put that old man in office. because he's been around just as long as them. But what's the difference? He's for poor people, poverty-stricken people, middle-class people, and people that are well-to-do. He wants us to do what have I been saying in all of my videos with the Money for the People Fund, to come out of poverty. It's our taxes that we worked and paid into the government system collectively. It's not any one person's taxes that they can say, oh, I don't want my share to go. No, that's not how the system is worked. This is a capitalist system. Okay, let me get to the other one. But you asked them people sitting in reception in prison in khakis if Donald Trump told them to go and attack the Capitol, because he did. That's why they're sitting where they're sitting. Now, here's another hoax.
Now, as I have told you many times now, Chris Christie, certainly before Miami Mayor Francis Suarez announced he was running, and maybe even still, Chris Christie is by far the most reasonable Republican candidate that is presenting himself for the Republican nomination. If I were voting in the Republican nomination process.
Okay. So David Pakman is not a Republican. He's I think he's independent or something like that. But at any rate, if he and other, because he's just saying that of all that's running before the Perez guy got in, or Suarez got in, that the best candidate on the Republican side is Chris Christie. It's not, because Chris Christie is going to exonerate and do a pardon for Donald Trump. They are buddies from New Jersey. That's who they are. They're like this. So all that, sorry, that's red ink. And I can't get it from under my nail. So all of that without chewing my skin off. All of that making jokes about, fat jokes about him when Trump's commercial superimposed that plate of food on his arm and put that buffet in front of him, I was done. And believe it or not, Chris Christie has lost weight. Yeah, he's lost weight. And, he got upset because he's one of those non-believers that there was no virus. And he went to the goddamn president's lawn party or whatever it was when he was swearing in somebody, some judge or something, and caught coronavirus, and motherfucker almost died. Yeah, that Chris Christie did. Remember when he was at the hospital and they didn't know if he was going to make it? Well, now he's back. And he's talking about running against Donald Trump and calling him all these names. Don't fall for it. He was responsible for Trafficgate. And I know a lot of you people don't know about it. Chris Christie, to get back at his Republican opponent, shut down the traffic on the Garden State Parkway. And two of the people in his administrations went to trial, were convicted, and went to jail because he said, I didn't tell them to do that. Another Donald Trump. That's exactly what happened. He told them to do that. They stopped the traffic. Could nobody go in or out of the Lincoln tunnels? Y'all look it up. I say things on this video. Y'all think I'm don't know what I'm talking about. He stopped the traffic, and unfortunately, somebody lost their life because there was a rescue squad, and there was a man in the rescue squad, and because he stopped the traffic and nobody could get in or out, he literally has blood on his hands. David Pakman, why you talking about he seems the most logical? He ain't nothing but a polished Donald Trump. He has murdered people. Or at least the one that I know of. His policies in New Jersey were atrocious. But enough people didn't get involved and vote him in and vote his ass out. And so you can only run 2 terms. You can run 4, but you can only have 2 back to back. Then somebody else got to go in, and then somebody else got to come out. And then we found, what's his name? The one I'm voting for now. Because again, I'm voting for him, Philip Murphy, because there's nobody else running that I can write in or vote for. And so, he's not that bad. He's from Saks Fifth Avenue. He's rich. He's worth $4 million, Governor Murphy. So he really doesn't, care one way or the other if he gets in. It's just politics of keeping the hands of government in the hands of the rich. If you all stop voting for rich people, the world would be better. So here we have Chris Christie running for office so that he can let Donald Trump out. So he can exonerate Donald Trump and let him. Really? Here we have Chris Christie running for office so he can let Donald Trump off the hook. Because those charges are federal charges. DOJ presses charges against you. They're federal. The Attorney General presses charges against you from that state. They're state. And so the Proud Boys, if I'm not mistaken, Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers, I think they were prosecuted under state charges. I don't think DOJ prosecuted them. I have to look it up, actually, before I say that. Let me see. Okay, so it says a jury, May 4th, 2023, all defendants convicted of multiple felonies. A jury in the District of Columbia today returned guilty verdicts of multiple felonies. So the District of Columbia is a territory. It's a district. It's not a seditious conspiracy related to the Capitol breach. Henry Enrique Torrio, he's 39, of Miami. Former national chairman of the Proud Boys. Ethan Nordine, 32. 32? My God, they look my age. Or maybe I look their age. Because it's about to be 56. They look my age. I would not put any of these men in the 30s or the 40s. Of Auburn, Washington, Joseph Biggs, 39. Another one. Of Ormond Beach, Florida. And Zachary Rell, 37, of Pennsylvania, were found guilty of seditious conspiracy. Okay. 4 co-defendants and defendants, Dominique Pizzello, 45, of Rochester, New York, also found guilty of obstruction of an official proceeding, conspiracy to prevent members of Congress and federal law enforcement officers from Okay, I don't need to do it again. Today, the Justice Department secured the convictions. Attorney General Merrick B. Garland. In addition to these defendants, a 5th member of the Proud Boys were all convicted of felonies, including obstructing Congress. On the Capitol. Okay, there's no 3 percenters in here. They had enough sense not to be involved. But again, all of these people, I guess it is federal since the hold on. Assistant Attorney General Matthew G. Olson of the Justice Department, National Security Division. Seriousness of today's convictions. Hundreds have already been held accountable. I'm not going to go through all that. Torrio set a stolen Black Lives Matters banner on fire. Did he realize he black? Don't nobody see him as white or Jewish or Italian. Anyway, they beat his ass just as fast as they beat a black man because he looks like a black man. All right, I gotta go. I just wanted to say, show those videos, show those boxes. And there's a guy over in Russia. His name is Waylon. I forget the first name. And they all go over there and they get everybody, and they keep leaving this man named Waylon. And then there's another man. He literally, like last week, no, 2 weeks ago, probably 2 weeks ago, they have another man. I don't know his name. They picked him up in Russia, and they said that he was a double agent. They're saying he was a double agent. Well, I don't know if the man was a double agent or not, but this is what happens when people like Trump are in office. You get people picked up. You get people murdered. And it just, I don't understand these people. I mean, I know they were all upset before Donald Trump came in office. And I said that in my other video. These are not people who Donald Trump got in their head and put all these ideas in their head. These are people who already wanted to do this. Donald Trump, as the president, gave them a leg up to say, okay, now we got somebody at the top, and now we're going to do it. No, you're not. You're never going to do it. You're never going to make the United States a communist country. First of all, too many people have guns. The army in the United States is less, it's like a 1 to 2 million top people. So if you have, I used to do this when I was in the prison, and they were bothering me, and I needed them to give me what I want. If you have 1 to 2 million tops people in your 4 branches of the military, right? And they have to respond. They have to respond to the 50 states and provide military police services to the 50 states and in the District of Columbia, Guam, and Puerto Rico, the 2 territories, and the District of Columbia, and the other states. You don't have enough people to cover it. So when I was in jail and the officers were threatening to beat me up, or they spit in my food or whatever, and they wouldn't give me something to eat, another tray that nobody did anything to, or that was sealed. I had sealed trays, and they would open the tray and I wouldn't want it, and they'd wait till the kitchen closed. Well, you're not going to leave me hungry, because I'll tell you, I'll start a riot, and you ain't got enough officers. So get me a tray of food, get me something to eat that nobody did anything to. It's unfortunate that it had to come to that. That the women's prison, they're understaffed. And even if they had full staff, if I go to the window and send a signal and tell everybody, be on point, start your riot in your cabinet, your cottage, and your cottage, up on grounds, in the psych unit, and in AdSeg and North and South Hall, if I send the signal out, this is when we're going to do it. When the first code 33 go off, everybody do it in their cabinet. So you don't have enough officers to cover everything. That's the way the United States is. Unlike China, I think their army is like 15 million strong. That doesn't bother me because we all have the same bombs. So I'm not worried about China's army. They're not going to go hand-to-hand combat with China's army. And the people in China don't want a nuclear weapon sent to their country, and we don't want a nuclear weapon sent to our country. And even the Muslims and people in Iran and Iraq, they want to live too. So all of these nuclear weapons, they cancel each other out, because if you set off your nuclear weapon and we set off our nuclear weapon, and Russia and Germany and everybody else sets off their nuclear weapon, then we're just blowing up the goddamn earth and everybody on it, right? You're just blowing up the earth and everybody on it. Nobody's going to survive that many nuclear weapons going off at the same time, right? So I'm never worried about anybody setting off a nuclear bomb to wipe out. But the Earth is a circle. You think if you blow up this part of it, the rest, what do you think the rest of the circle going to do? What do you think the rest of the Earth going to do? You can't blow up this part or this part and just have this left. You've gotten rid of the circle. You have to have a circle in order for the Earth, which is a star up in space with the other ones, though we're on Earth, so we don't see it as a star. We don't see it that we're in space in that black mass that's up there spinning around just like the other stars. There's nothing holding us up. So you go ahead and take out a good portion of it and see what's going to happen. So nobody's going to blow up the Earth. Nobody's going to destroy mankind. But if you decide to do that, only thing that's going to survive is the Earth. And all it's going to do is spin around for another trillion years in the goddamn black abyss until it grows back together and it's a ball. And only we going to be gone. You know who's going to survive? Roaches. Damn it. Goddamn roaches could survive everything. And maybe some rats. And then evolution will happen again. It was curious to me that the lady said, and the whole table, I didn't want to say, it was a PBS special that David Pakman was commenting on. So I'm commenting on his comments to the PBS special. And it was puzzling to me that the lady said, oh, I don't think he meant it that way. That's exactly what he meant, lady. He meant for them to attack the Capitol. And he got away and they didn't. 20 years? At 39, 20 years is going to make you 60. All of them. One of the people was in their 40s. He got 20 years, like 62 years. I swear, if the rest of the Proud Boys, 3%ers, Oath Keepers, if you guys would vote with the poor people, seriously, if you 3%ers, Proud Boys, people who are not voting, Oath Keepers, not the ones in prison, don't be like them. If you guys would vote for the progressives, you really would get what you want. You really would. A government's too big. The government is not too big. The government must have a representative in the districts the way it was drawn up. It's not that the government is too big. It's that you guys keep putting in rich people. When are you going to get it through your head? Put in progressives, and not any progressives. Put in progressives that you know they have a lifetime and a history and a history of saying publicly that the government is not spending the money the right way. If our government says we have 1,000 nuclear bombs of different heights and sizes and power, that means they have 3 to 4 million bombs, nuclear bombs. They're never going to tell us how many they have, and they shouldn't. They should not tell us how many. All right, but I gotta go. It just struck me really strange that she would say he didn't mean it that way, like he just said it in jest. When people attacked the Capitol, because you all thought he meant it, and so did I, because he wanted y'all to take over and get rid of Mike Pence, and he'd be in president, and he'd be in charge of the army. Have a good day. See how easy it is. I'm gonna use this finger. To stop the stream. That's all y'all got to do. All we have to do is vote together. Cornel West is running. He's changed from that other party. Now he's part of the Green Party. It doesn't matter what party backs him. He just needs to register so I can write his name in New Jersey. Because I'm not voting for Biden. Finger. See? It's easy. Just No, it's not no gun or anything. This finger got more power in it than any gun, than any machine gun, than any bomb, even more powerful than a nuclear weapon. Yeah.